Hello and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make this lovely little cruise rubber duck. I went on a cruise recently, and on the cruise, I saw people and I heard them talking about the rubber ducks. I found out what the rubber duck was about, and the story was that you hide the little rubber ducks around and people like do a scavenger hunt and they find them. So this is why I created this little rubber duck. And with this rubber duck, it glows in the dark. This is what it looks like when it glows. I went in the store and I saw the Lion Brand yarn had these glow in the dark yarn. And they're so tiny, and I'm like, what can you do with them? I wanted to work with them because I think it's so cute, and it was so tiny. So I said, what can I do? What can I do? I've been thinking about it. So when I went on the cruise and I saw the little rubber duck hunt that everybody was looking for, and I say, if I get it to glow at night and you hide it around on the cruise ship, there you go. So that's why I said, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make the little rubber duck for the cruise ship. And when the kids look for it, or whoever, because everybody was looking for it on the cruise ship, you could find it when it glows on the little spots that you hide it. I wanted to show you others that I've made. And this one is a different yarn. This one is from, I got this at Walmart. So this is the Walmart brand yarn. That's similar to the Red Heart yarn. But that one, that came out nice too. And of course I didn't use the safety eyes. I did just sew it a couple of times, a regular black yarn, and that's it. So I have that one. This one I just wanted to try and see which one works better to stand up and, you know, don't fall over. So this one is 100% cotton. Of course, you see I made his head a little bit. His head is really big, but I was working on it to find out which one fits better. My husband says he loves this little guy here. This, of course, is a different color kind of yarn. This one is from Joann's Fabric. It's the Big Twist, and they have, so it's made with this one, the Big Twist, and it actually has where it tells you you could do with the amigurumi on it for this is how it comes out. And of course you have to use a different hook size because the size of the yarn is only 2 and it's defined. So I used the yarn, the hook that's suggested for this yarn, and this is the little guy, how it came out. And again, I didn't use safety eye. I just used a yarn, and I only did it once. So that's another one. This one is the Red Heart yarn now, and of course I gave it the safety eye for this one, but I did the 6mm eye, but I prefer, when you finish up, I prefer the 8mm eye and safety eye. And then this is also a Red Heart yarn, but different. I was working on them, figuring out which one looks better, the head size and the little nose, the beak, which one looked better. So these are all my little work and sample, but of course he glows in the dark, so he's my best. So the measurement for a little rubber duck, of course, is stretch, and it's different shaped at different angles, but from the front to the tail it's like 3.5 inches, and from the head to the bottom it's also like 3.5 inches. So these are supplies you're going to be using to make our cruise rubber duck. The yarn we're using is the Lion Brand yarn. This one is the DIY Glow Cozy. The color is neon green. It's a medium 4, of course a worst weight, 100% polyester. This is 78 yards. We don't need all of it to complete our project. This is also the Lion Brand. This one is just the DIY Glow, and it has 71 yards, also 100% polyester, medium 4, and the color again is natural. All right, so our hook that we're using is the E4 It's the 3.50 millimeter. We're going to be using a button. I got a nice big button, and I also got my button opening because we also need a yarn needle so that it could fit through, because we're going to sew it on. And this button, it's like 1.5 inches. I'm going to put the information for all of the supplies in the description, so check that out. Don't worry. All right, we need a few stitch marker, and I also got the little squeak that goes inside the duck. And we have a safety eye and the back of it. We need 2 of them. You don't have to use the safety eye, but this is what I'm going to use. And this one is an 8 millimeter, because they do have smaller, a 6 millimeter, but I don't like it that small for this project. I'm using the 8. And also too, I have some stuffing. We need not a lot of it, but we're using that, and the scissors. And these are supplies. So let's get started. And for you to learn how to make the yarn glow, they were so helpful. They provided us with a QR code, and also the website address is right here. So all you need to do is scan the QR code. It takes you right there. It tells you everything you need to know about the yarn and how to make it glow. And it works. So keep that in mind. Check out their website and it will help you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the nose. And we're going to start off with the white color yarn. That's the natural color yarn. Now we're going to attach our hook to our yarn, and this is how I do. We use what's called a slip knot stitch, and this is how I'm comfortable in doing my slip knot stitch. If you have a different method, you go right ahead and you use it. I'm going to show you what I do. I take my yarn, I drape it over my 2 fingers, I let it fall to the back, take my hook, put it between my 2 fingers, and I pull out that loop of yarn. Now I have that little knot. Take that little knot and just tighten it against my hook, and that's it. That's how we do a slip knot stitch. So our next step now is we're going to do 4 chain, and a chain is yarn over your hook, pull through, yarn over your hook, pull through, and of course when you're working, keep your chain loose. Yarn over your hook, pull through, yarn over your hook, pull through, and that's it. So now we could count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chains we have because they're shaped like a V. All right. So our next step now, what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 single crochet in the second chain from a hook. This is the first chain right here. We need the second one. So find it. You could work in the front. I like to work in the back where those little bars or bumps are in the back of our chain. So find the second one right here. And we're going to put 2 single crochet there. So a single crochet is you go into that chain, you pull up a loop of yarn, 2 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over, and you're going to pull across 2 of those loops on your hook, and that's how you do a single crochet. Put a stitch marker in so we know where we start. We have to go back down into that same chain and do another one. So I'll show you again how to do a single crochet. Go into that chain, pull up a loop of yarn, 2 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over, pull straight across those 2 loops, and that's it. So now the next chain, you're going to put 1 single crochet there, and the last chain that we have right here, we're going to put 2 like we started, single crochet. So go into it and put 2 there. All right, so remember, yarning over, you pull 1 more, and when you do the last one, so it doesn't bump up when I come around, I like to go to the side like this, hold on to it, and grab my tail. So I pull it, and there you go. So now we're going to turn our little work, and we're going to go into the opposite side of our chain. So when you look at it, this right here is where we just put those 2 single crochet. So the next chain over will be right here. So that next chain, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet right there. So you just want to pull up one side of that loop because we're working on the other side of the chain. There you go, like that. Let me open it. See it? So put 1 single crochet right there. And then the last chain right here for the other side of our work, you're going to put 2 single crochet right there. This is my last one, so I have 2. So now what you do is you go ahead and count. Make sure you start with your little stitch marker 1 through 3, 4, 5, and then when you get around, make sure you have 8 before you move on. So that's for, this will be considered round 1, the completion of round 1, 8 stitches. Now to start round 2, you could leave your stitch marker there and go right underneath, and then take out your stitch marker so you don't lose your spot, and then pull up a loop, because what we're going to do in that first stitch right there, and all the stitch around the 8 stitch that we have from round 1, we're going to put 1 single crochet, and that's it. So this is our first one. Don't forget to put your stitch marker back in. So for round 2, go ahead and put 1 single crochet in each of our stitch, and then I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. So that's how we look when we did round 2. So now what we're going to do is just fasten off, but before we do, see where our stitch marker is, you could take it out if you could find it. If not, go underneath like I showed you earlier. We're going to slip stitch there to fasten off. So go into that first stitch, put it around, and you're going to pull up a loop of yarn, and the other loop you have, you're going to pull it right across that, and this is how you do a slip stitch. So that's how it looks and how we have it. So now we need a tail to sew on for later on. So make sure when you do it, you pull up a nice tail. And when you do, we're going to use that tail for sewing on the nose later on. I call it the nose. I know it's the little duck bill, but I like to call it the nose. So that's what we're going to call it. So now we're going to be making the wings, and we're going to use the neon green yarn to make the wings, and we have to make 2 of them alike. So to make the wing, we have to do an adjustable ring, and the adjustable ring, I do it similar to how I do my slip knot, you see. So what I do is I take the yarn, drape it over my 2 fingers, I let it fall to the back, I take my hook, put it between my 2 fingers, and I pull up a loop of yarn. And that knot that I have, I hold on to it. And now what I'm going to do to hold the adjustable ring in place, because see we have a tail, I'm going to just do a 1 chain, and you know how to do the chain, and that's it. And that's how we start off with our adjustable ring. And with the adjustable ring, we have to put 4 single crochet in there, and you know how to do the single crochet, so go ahead and put 4 single crochet in the adjustable ring, and make sure you put the stitch marker in that first stitch right there. And with the adjustable ring, what I like to do, if it's a little too loose for you to work with, you could pull on the tail slightly, okay, and then you could work with it better that way, but don't pull it all the way. So remember to put 4 single crochet in the adjustable ring, and then I'll show you how to close it up. Now to close up the adjustable ring, that little tail that we have, all you do is just pull against it, hold on to the other piece, there you go. And that's the completion of round 1. With round 1, make sure you have your 4 stitches before we move on. Now to start round 2, as we did earlier, if you can't find it, you could leave the stitch marker there, go underneath. Now take it out, because with round 2, what we're going to do is we're going to increase. So by increasing, we're going to put 2 single crochet in each of our stitch that we did for round 1. So for those 4 stitches from round 1, you're going to put 2 single crochet. That will give you 8 by the time you finish round 2. So go ahead and put in each of our stitch 2 single crochet. That's how we look on completion of round 2. Make sure you have your 8 stitches around. So now to start round 3, we're going to increase in that first stitch. So in that first stitch, you're going to put 2 single crochet right there. But of course, remember when we do the first one, make sure you put your stitch marker back in. So the next stitch will go right in that same stitch because we're increasing. We put 2 single crochet in our first stitch. And now for the next 1, 2, 3, stitch that we have, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And of course, when you're working with it, it's going to start turning, so you could go ahead and turn it, all right, to make it, you can work with it better. So 1 single crochet in the following 3 stitches. So we went ahead and did that for 3 times by putting 1 single crochet. So the next stitch, we're also going to increase, so you're going to put 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and then you have 3 stitches remaining before you get back to your stitch marker. Put 1 single crochet in each of them, and then we meet back up. So by following that pattern around, make sure you have 10 stitches at the completion of round 3. Now for round 4, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet around in each of our 10 stitches. So the completion of round 4, make sure you have 10 stitches, and I'll meet you there. So the completion of round 4, we have our 10 stitches. So now for round 5, for the first stitch, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet and put back in our stitch marker so we don't forget. Now the next 2 stitch, we're going to do what's called the single crochet 2 together. We're going to decrease them, and what I do is I use the invisible decrease method. You could use the regular method, but I'm going to show you how to do the decrease invisible, okay? So what you do is you go under that first loop, because the stitch are divided, the single crochet, with the back loop, and then this is considered the front loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the front loop only, okay? Just go through that front stitch right there, and then you go into the next stitch and just pull up the front loop, and then you're going to pull up a loop of yarn. You have your 2 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over and pull straight across the 2 of them, and that's your invisible decrease method. And this will be the pattern we're going to follow around. So we have 1 stitch remaining. I'll show you again. So the next stitch over is 1 single crochet in that stitch, and then we're going to decrease the 2 stitch together using the single crochet 2 together decrease method, the invisible decrease, front loop only and front loop only, and then you pull up a loop of yarn, 2 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over, pull across, and that's it. So go ahead and do that one more time, and then we meet back up. So we did that pattern one more time by putting in 1 single crochet, and then we decrease the following 2 stitches together, and then we have 1 stitch remain to do. So all you're going to do is just do 1 single crochet right there, and that's the complete round 5. And for the completion of round 5, make sure you have 7 stitches. And at this point, what I like to do is the little tail that we started with, I like to tuck him in there so he is out of our way, so we could move on to round 6. Makes it a little easier for me to deal with. So now for round 6, what we're going to do, those first 2 stitches, we're going to decrease them. So of course we're using the invisible decrease method, and you go ahead and do that. So that's for the first stitch. Now the next stitch over is right here. We're going to put 1 single crochet, and the following 2, now it's getting a little tighter to hold on to, it's a small little piece. You're going to decrease that also, those 2 stitch, all right, because we're decreasing. So use the invisible decrease. There you go. And then we have 2 more stitch remaining for round 6. All you're going to do is put 1 single crochet in our last 2 stitches. So that's the completion of round 6, and with the completion of round 6, make sure you have 5 stitches around, and we're going to fasten off, pull up a nice long tail so that we could sew on later on. I'm going to grab my scissors and cut it off. So now we're going to do the head, and we're staying with the neon green yarn. So now to start the head, we're going to make an adjustable ring, and in the adjustable ring this time, what we're going to do is put 6 single crochet. So go ahead and make your adjustable ring. I showed you how to do the adjustable ring earlier, and you know how to do the single crochet because that's what we've been doing. Put 6 single crochet in your adjustable ring. Okay, so I got my 6 single crochet in my adjustable ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now remember what you do to close up your adjustable ring. Just pull on the tail. And that's for the completion of round 1. So round 1, you have 6 stitches around. So now for round 2, all you're going to do is the same thing we did when we started the wing. We're increasing, so you're going to put 2 single crochet in each of our stitch around. So we had 6 in round 1, so the completion of round 2, make sure you have 12 stitches by the time you finish, because you're going to put 2 single crochet in one of our stitch from round 1. So we completed round 2 by having 12 stitches because we put 2 single crochet in each of our stitch around. Now the pattern for round 3 is for the first stitch. All we're going to do is put 1 single crochet and put my stitch marker back in, and we're going to be increasing in the next stitch. So for the next stitch, you're going to put 2 single crochet, and this is the pattern. So I won't show you, I'll tell you again. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and follow that pattern around, and we'll meet back at the stitch marker. So we follow that pattern around for round 3, and the completion of round 3, make sure you have your 18 stitches because we increase. Now for round 4, the first stitch, we're going to increase. So you're going to put 2 single crochet in that first stitch. So go ahead and do that. And for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitch, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet. So go ahead and do that. So the pattern around, I won't show you, but I'll tell you again, is the next stitch you put, because you're increasing 2 single crochet, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitch, you put 1 single crochet. And you're going to do that pattern for 2 more times, and then we meet back up at the stitch marker, and I'll show you what to do next. So we follow that pattern around for round 4, and by the completion of round 4, we have 21 stitches. So now for round 5, 6, 7, 8, for those 4 rounds, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet around. So I won't show you how to do that because you know how to do it. We did it before. So we meet back up when you finish round 8, and remember 1 single crochet in each of our stitch around. So the completion of round 8, you're going to have your 21 stitches because we're not increasing, and then we meet back up. Now we finished doing round 8, and this is how we look because we did those 4 rounds. We put in 1 single crochet in each of our stitch, and I put the tail inside. So that's it. Now for round 9, this is the pattern we're going to follow around. For the first 5 stitches, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet. So go ahead and do that, and then we meet back up. Okay, so we did that for 5 times, 1 single crochet. Now we're going to decrease. We're going to decrease the next 2, and we're going to use the invisible decrease. So the single crochet, 2 together. So I won't show you, I just tell you, and the pattern around again is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitch, 1 single crochet, and the following 2 you will decrease them. So we meet back up at the stitch marker. So we follow that pattern around for round 9, and the completion of round 9 we have 18 stitches. So now all that's left for us to do is to pull up a nice tail, because we're going to fasten off, pull up a nice tail again because we need it to sew on. So now we're going to start the body, and with the body we're going to stay with the neon green yarn, and to start we're going to use an adjustable ring also, but leave a nice long tail to start off with. And then in that adjustable ring, make sure you put 6 single crochet and close it up, and then we'll meet back up. So now for round 2, we're going to increase. So for each stitch around, what you're going to do is put 2 single crochet in each of our stitch. So at the completion of round 2, make sure you have your 12 stitches. Now the pattern around for round 3, we're also going to increase. So for the first stitch, all we do is put 1 single crochet, and the next stitch we're going to increase. So you're going to put 2 single crochet there. So you're going to need to do that 5 more times, and then we meet back up. So again, it's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. Go go ahead and complete that, and then we'll meet back up at the stitch marker. We completed round 3 with that pattern, and we have 18 stitches. So for round 4 now, I'm not going to show you, get the idea, because we're going to increase. So for the first 2 stitch, 1, 2, you're going to put 1 single crochet, and then the next stitch you're going to increase. You're going to put 2 single crochet, 1, 2, just 1 single crochet, and the next stitch will be the increase. So go ahead and follow that pattern around for 6 times, and then we'll meet back up. All right, so we completed round 4, and with completion of round 4 by following the pattern around, we have 24 stitches. Now for round 5, the pattern around you're going to do for 3 times is for the first 7 stitch you're going to put 1 single crochet, and the 8th stitch you will increase, you will put 2 single crochet. So 3 times you do that pattern around. So remember, 7 stitches, 1 single crochet, and the 8th stitch you will increase. So we went ahead and followed that pattern around for round 5 for 3 times, and with that pattern following around, make sure you have 27 stitches when you complete round 5. Now for round 6, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each of our stitch, but we're going to use the back loop only. So I'll show you how to do that, because we did the front loop before. I showed you how we divide up the stitch. Remember, this was the front loop, and then this is the back loop. So that's where we're going to go now. So that's what we're going to use. It's just 1 single crochet, and it's where we put it now. So it's the back loop. So go in the back loop and do the regular single crochet. So go ahead and do that for round 6. All we're doing is 1 single back loop only in single crochet. Okay, so this is how we look when we finish round 6 by putting 1 single crochet in the back loop only. Now for round 7, I won't show you, I'll just tell you, for the first 8 stitches, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet, and the next stitch you will increase, so you're going to put 2 single crochet. So you're going to do that pattern for 3 times around, and then we meet back up at the stitch marker. And at the completion of round 7, make sure you have your 30 stitches. Now round 8, I won't show you, also tell you, because it's just simple. This time we're going to repeat the pattern 3 times around. So now it's 9 stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitch. You put 1 single crochet, and on the 10th stitch, that will be the next stitch over, you increase and you put 2 single crochet. So go ahead and follow a pattern around for 3 times, and then we meet back up at the stitch marker. So we follow that pattern around for 3 times for round 8, and the completion of round 8, we're going to have 33 stitches. Now we're going to move on to round 9, 10, and 11. So for 3 rounds, all we're going to do is just put 1 single crochet in each of our stitch. So you're not increasing. So you should have 33 stitches at the end of round 11, and I'll meet you there. So now we made it up to round 11. We did that pattern around for 3 rounds, round 9, 10, and 11, with putting 1 single crochet in each of our stitch. Now for round 12, what we're going to do is we're going to put, for the first 3 stitch, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet. And the next 2 stitch, we're going to increase in that. So the next 2, you're going to put 2 single crochet. So that's 1. And the next stitch, you increase. That's 2 single crochet. And now for the next 10 stitch, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet. So go ahead and do that, and we'll meet back up. So 1 single crochet in each of our 10 stitches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease. So we're going to use the single crochet 2 together, and I'm going to use the invisible decrease method, and you're going to do that for 4 times. So that's 1. So go ahead and do it for 3 more times, and then we meet back up. And the remaining stitch that we have, 10 of them, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet, and then we meet back up at the stitch marker. Make sure at the completion of round 12 you have your 31 stitches. Now for round 13, this will be our last round to do, and for the first 2 stitch, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet. Now for the next 2 stitch, you're going to increase. You're going to put 2 single crochet there. And now for the next 12 stitches, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each of them. So go ahead and do that for 12 stitches, and then we meet back up. So we did that for 12 times by putting 1 single crochet in each of our stitch. So now what you're going to do is you're going to decrease, and you're going to decrease this time for 3. Okay, 3 times decrease using the single crochet 2 together method, but remember I'm doing the invisible. Now for our remaining 9 stitch, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each of them. So go ahead and do that, and then we meet back up at the stitch marker. So now we complete that, and by doing that, make sure at the completion of round 13 you have 30 stitches. So now we're going to fasten off. So all you're going to do is pull up a nice long tail and cut it off so we can use it for sewing for later. All right. Now the next step we're going to do is we're going to start attaching our piece, and we're going to attach our little nose to our head. So I'm going to place the little nose between round, I would say 7 and 6, because we stopped off at round 9 and then round 8, 7, and 6. So I put it right there. And of course, when I have it, I just look at it and I see this is where we fasten off, I would say upside it down, and this is the right side, if you want to call it that. I prefer it looks nice this way, so you see it when you do it too, which part of it gives it the better shape. So that's how I'm going to attach it. I'll show you how I do it, but I just want to let you know how I'm placing it and where I'm placing it. Okay, so I'm going to go through and it's just, I'm trying to just do a regular sewing method of keeping it together, but I'm gonna come back out and I'll try to find that same round that I started with to go back, and then I'm working in the top part of the nose, so I'm going to pick up those. If we were doing another single crochet around the nose, those 2 strands. And see, it's holding on. And now find the other single crochet, go through that, go back through the head, and that's all we're going to do. Now for the top, what I'm going to do coming back around, I'm just going to use the outer layer, or if you say the front loops, to go through the head. All we're trying to do is try to make it look nice, and at this point I say if you try your best to take it off, if it doesn't look right for you, you can try take it off and then start over, but I think it looks okay for me. So what I'm going to do now, I came inside, and the tail that we had when we started, I'm just going to give it a couple of knots around that, and just when we stuff the head, leave that in there. Okay, that's all I'm going to do now. So now we're going to do is place our safety eyes. So what I do with the safety eyes, I use the nose as our little guide or reference, and I move over 1 stitch over on the top and place it right here. And when you do it, you also could see it, you know, and how it looks for you, where it looks nice. And then I move over from the nose 1 stitch between right here. And for me, I think that looks nice. Now we're going to could turn it in like this so I could put on the back of it. When you read the package where it comes in, it says to snap it on like this, but I don't like doing it like that. I prefer snapping it on like this. So before you do it, make sure you have it where you want to, because it's very hard to get them off when you snap it in. This way I find you could play with it and take it off a little bit, because it has the little grooves and then they clip on. So that's the back for our safety eye. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to snap it on. There we go. You feel it when you do it. Do you hear it? You feel it. So that's one on. Go ahead and do the other one. Okay, so I got it on. My little safety eye. I had to move his little nose a little bit to get it. Because they're really tight when you clip them in. Okay, so that's it. So we're moving on. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew our button inside of our body, the crochet piece that we have. And we're using the tail, of course, that we left earlier when we first started to do our adjustable ring. I'm just going to use the regular sewing method to sew it on the bottom and make it look nice as we go along. Try to center it too. I'm going to try the best to hide my stitches so it doesn't mess up our crochet piece. I'm going to go right close to it if I can do that and come up back through the center. Okay, I think I did that enough. Looks nice and secure, tight. So all I'm going to do is just give it a couple knots in here, because this is going to stay inside. We're going to put the stuffing inside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually put in our little squeaker, and also we're going to stuff it with our fiber. So how I'm going to do it, I'm going to take some of our little stuffing and put it in the front, because we don't want it to be too heavy and it top over. Okay, I think I gave it enough in the front. You feel it when you do it too. So I'm going to try to place it inside as best as I can. You feel it when you do it, like I said, because we want it to be able to, that when we're finished, that it could actually squeak. So that's what we're trying to do. Okay, I think that's enough for me right now, because we're going to start sewing it up, and if I need to stuff it some more, I give it some more. So now to close it up, I'm going to use the first 2 stitch right here, and I'm just going to go through it like this and then come back out. And now for the next 6 stitch, what I'm going to do is just pull up the front loop only. I'll show you. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make sure I don't split my yarn, 6. And what I'm going to do is just tightly pull on it. See, we get that little design of closing it up that way. And now we're going to come back and close it up, okay? So the next step we're going to do is just go through like we're doing a single crochet, go underneath the stitch and find the other side, because now we're going to squeeze it closed like this to sew it. So we're just going to use the regular sewing method of going back and forth, back and forth. All right, so the first one. And then come to the other side, find the other stitch and find the other side. Pull it through. And that's all we're going to do till we get to the end. finished up. I made it to the front. So what I'm going to do is take my yarn needle, go underneath, and try not to pick up the little stuff in as we go, because we're going to go back. So I don't like it. It's a little open. You don't really see it that much, but I'm just going to go back so that I can put at least one stitch there. So now I made it to the back. So I'm just going to just go through it at least one time. You see it and how much yours is open, and then you could decide how do you want to do it. I think that's fine. So now to fasten off, just going to go back inside and just weave my tail through, not trying to pick up our little stuff in from inside. Then pull it off and cut it, and that will be it. So that's how mine look when I finish doing it, closing up the body. Let's see if it works. Yes, it does. Yeah, we're in business now. Yep. So now we're going to attach our head to our body. I'm going to stuff it a little bit so that we could start sewing it on. I'm going to just try to pick up just the top loops of our stitches and then go around. First part is you're just trying to place it and get it where you need it to be. That's the hardest, I think, for me. That's trying to do that. Then you're going to come out through the top. And then what I do is just use like the front loop, go back down, and then get another strand from underneath the body, from the body, and then go through the top part. Now I made it around. This is how it looks for me. It came out. So all we need to do is like we did earlier. I'm just going to weave in the tail and then come out through the end. That's it. Now what's left for us to do is to put on our wings, and that's it. So I've attached the first wing already, and I'll show you a little bit because you get the idea of what we're doing, how we're putting it on. But I just wanted to let you know the side that I use, because we started the adjustable ring here, and this is where we fasten off. So how I do it is try to match it up as best as we can with the other one we put on, and then I use that part that we fasten off to sew from the front of the head. Okay, so that's it. Just go ahead and attach it. I attach it all the way around. So that's what you need to do. Attach it all the way around so it doesn't get flippy or floppy around. But that's what we're going to do. So we put on our wings. This is how they look. We attach them. And that's our little cruise rubber duck. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye-bye.